Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast, episode number 10. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague, Dan.
Hello.
So, Dan, we're here after a weekend of misery. We drew 1-1 with Cheltenham away from home, and then we've just, fresh off the iFollow app, we've just got beaten 3-2 away to Macclesfield Town.
Yeah, like minutes ago.
Pretty weak, eh?
Yeah. I don't know if it's a bit too raw. Maybe we shouldn't be doing this right now.
Yeah,
Maybe we should be doing this. I'm going to say some things that I regret, like even more than usual.
Well, I mean, what a bad... I mean, the one upside for us, and not for some of our listeners, is we're not there.
Me and you?
Yeah, we're just in Exeter.
Oh, right, yeah.
After that.
So, around 100 of you...
Fair play.
Or I say you, you're not necessarily listening to this, but 100 Exeter City supporters are currently trying to find their car in a car park
in Macclesfield.
Almost certainly raining, because if it's raining here, and if it's raining here, it's definitely raining in the north. So
yeah, and you know, Alan Tongue was on commentary, and I don't think they could find a more northern person.
That was annoying me. That
well, we're Southerners. I guess no one wanted to make the trip.
I know he played for City, but part of me couldn't help thinking, like, you want them to win here, don't you? I can tell.
Your Northman blood is coming through. Yeah, maybe. So, well, in a sense, what is there to say? It was almost the story of the greatest bowman, and instead it was something much less palatable.
Yeah.
So, run us through it.
Well, where do you want to start?
Well, probably at kickoff.
No, I mean, this game or...
Oh, okay. Well, Cheltenham then. Let's start with Cheltenham.
I mean, it's a bit of a subplot, isn't it, really? So I think we should probably start there.
It's like Game of Thrones. If you've missed an episode, you're going to know what's going on.
Yeah. So Cheltenham away at the Johnny Rocks Stadium.
Which we found out thanks to everyone who's done research for us.
Yeah, and thanks also to Johnny Rocks himself for clarifying it is he does.
Is that his surname?
It's Horrocks, I think.
Oh, is it?
So he sort of shortened it to sound cool. Like, what
working,
almost certainly happened there is when he was young at school... No one called him Johnny Rocks, even though he really wanted them to. And then as soon as he becomes his own boss of a limousine company,
yeah.
He's going, right, I am going to be called Johnny Rocks, whether they like it or not.
That'll show
I'm going to make a fortune, and I'm going to buy the right to Wadden Lane.
Wadden Road.
Whatever.
Whatever. Well, I'd like to think that he was trying to buy Anfield, and it just didn't. His limousine company wasn't that successful.
Well, I guess he's from Cheltenham, isn't he?
I'd hope so.
If he isn't, then that's let's forget this. Anyway, let's move on.
But thanks for the research, everyone.
We wasted too much time on Johnny Rocks last week. Free advertising. If you wanna get a limousine whilst you're in the Cheltenham and Gloucester area, get any other chauffeur company except that one.
Just get Apple Cab to take you up there.
Anyway,
so we went there.
1-1.
1-1. Let's start with the opening goal by City. So 36 minutes, I think.
Yep.
Absolutely beautiful pass by Woodman.
Yep.
Who's on the edge of the box on the right-hand side. Does a kind of fake knock into the centre. So all the defenders kind of look over their heads, and then he plays it along the ground to Moxie.
Little reverse pass.
Lovely. And Moxie, beautiful finish.
Yep.
36 minutes. Obviously, we're going to half-time ahead, 1-0. I wonder if the mindset of the team is, we're not really scoring at the minute. That's great to have that 1-0 lead. Cheltenham, yeah, they're a form team. We'll shut up shop to some extent. Maybe we'll get something on the breakaway, as we're quite good at doing. And so that's how maybe we approach the second half. And then a piece of completely bizarre refereeing.
Yeah.
Has absolutely done us.
I mean, you know what it's like. It's League Two. And I know there's a lot sort of being said about Brett Huxtable and
which is quite
where his allegiances lie and where he's from and whatnot.
Well,
so it's a bad call, and it's a really bad call, and it's cost us probably. But what can you do? You know that it's League Two, and you get bad decisions that go against you. You also get bad decisions that go for you. across the course of a season, it probably kind of like,
While
levels
that's
it out.
true, while that is true, that wasn't just one decision, was it? Of course. So
No,
a
it's I mean, it was, but it's a huge one with big ramifications.
yeah. So as you'll probably know, the decision we're talking about is balls lofted into City's area. Christy Pym, not unlike him, goes for a punch. Obviously, he's not the biggest lad, so he's got to jump forwards and into it. And as he does so, he punches it clearly before anything else happens.
Oh, there's that still, and he's got two hands on the ball.
Yeah. And then Cheltenham striker clashes into him, but comes across him to do so. So Pym's got the line of the ball. He stood where he is, or he's jumping where he is.
Yeah, doesn't take his eyes off the ball at all, does he? The only thing you could say was, well, it was dangerous play, and he did get injured. I mean, I don't know how bad it was. We had to go off, had to be substituted at the time. But I don't think that you don't give those.
Well, I don't think you can give those. Otherwise, goalkeepers can't jump anymore.
Yeah. Well, you shouldn't be able to, and no one ever does. So it's
No.
quite clearly a wrong decision.
So the lad from Cheltenham got injured, which no one liked to see, and he had to get carried off on a stretcher.
Yeah.
But the issue was very much Pym had punched it before the guy even hit him.
Yeah, and subsequently he gets a yellow card,
Yeah.
and Cheltenham have a penalty, which they score.
We are then 25 minutes left of the game, which is kind of rolling out for 1-1. City didn't seem to have... They had the odd chance. Cheltenham had the odd chance, kind of heading for 1-1. But obviously we're desperate to stay in the playoff race. So, and I would suggest Cheltenham, because they can't either go up or go down, now we're just kind of rolling it out. Point was good for them and whatever. And so they do a bit of taking a while to get out of the way of the ball after it's gone behind Pym's goal line.
Yeah.
Pym shoves him.
Yeah, which he shouldn't do.
Which he shouldn't do.
You can totally understand it, and like that's the sort of player he is. But
Yeah.
you shouldn't be doing that.
No.
And
And he knew he was on a yellow card.
Yeah.
So it's completely ridiculous.
And that's one that the referee is well within his rights to give.
Yep.
You can't shove players, even if what they're doing is, unsportsmanly or annoying you or whatever. You can't shove players, and if you do, you can expect a booking. So he's suspended.
Fast forward 3
to
days, which,
this
by the
evening,
way, with
Tuesday
this
night.
podcast has always flagged up that City struggle with a game 3 days apart. Like this season, I don't
Yeah,
think
I think all teams do really, don't they? But
well, given
yeah.
the size of our squad
Yeah.
and probably most League Two team squads, that's always a harder thing to do, especially when some of our better players are injured. So
Yeah.
Martin, Fort, etc.
However, I mean, tonight, you look at the bench before we start,
Yeah, apart from
before the
Pym,
game, and it's a strong bench. So apart from Christie being suspended, that's a pretty strong team. I know there's sort of, there's some players in there that aren't 100% fit. Maybe that's the reason the Law didn't start. I don't know. Maybe just wanted to change it around. Anyway, strong bench, and it's like so. There's not been a better time to have, 3 games in a week kind of style, or 2
Yeah.
games
Yeah,
days apart. But we didn't cope. We did not cope.
So Dan, we started the first half well.
Yeah, first 10 minutes we were playing some really nice football. Macclesfield couldn't get into the game, but it seemed to be like it came to pass that they just hadn't got themselves into the game yet.
Okay.
So that sort of good spell at the beginning led up to Lee Martin with a really nice little... I thought he was really good, and he obviously came off at half-time. Not sure why yet, but really good play down the left-hand side, beat a few players. Great ball into the back post. Bowman literally can't miss, 1 yard out header. Gets his first goal for City.
And that's great, and that's
Yeah.
huge.
And we were totally in control up until that point.
Fast forward 3 minutes,
3 minutes later.
Macclesfield get the equaliser.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was it? What happened?
So Hammond and Moxie. Hammond comes for it. I guess.
Hammond, listeners, is our standing keeper. If you don't know James Hammond,
James Hammond. I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, I'm pretty sure you know who he is, probably.
Well, that's probably true.
Yeah, so he comes for a ball. He comes too far out. Moxie and him just kind of a bit of a mix-up. I think it's going to come down to like a bit of nerves, isn't it, from the defence? You've got this new keeper. I mean, he hasn't played.
And he's a young lad.
He's young. He hasn't played. Why would they have any real confidence in him? Why would he have confidence in himself? There's a few moments like that, and it's fair enough. It's a high risk position, goalkeeper. When another player comes in in a different position and like they haven't played for ages, like a striker or whatever, you give them a bit of a benefit of the doubt for a while. Oh, they haven't played for a while or whatever. But a keeper's too much at stake, isn't there? And straight away, I'm just like, yeah.
So that takes us to 1-1, 30 minutes, 34 minutes.
Yeah.
Hammond redeems himself.
Oh, he really does. Great kick, boots it upfield. It kind of bounces. No one gets on the end of it.
People are calling it an 85-yard assist.
Yeah, well, that number's going up and up, I think. Anyway,
150-yard assist.
Essentially, it's a bad bit of defending as well from no one from Macclesfield gets anywhere near it, and Bowman's through, and actually really nice little finish from Bowman into the far corner.
Second goal.
Second
for Bowman.
goal for City.
And second goal for Bowman.
And second goal
so in 7 minutes, we've gone from 1-0 to 1-0 to 2-1.
Yeah, which in itself is a bit too chaotic for my liking anyway, It's all a bit,
Well, the chaos didn't end there, of course.
Alarm bells are going a bit.
So 10 minutes to go till half-time. You think, well, the experienced players in the team, of which there are quite a lot, could let this, slow this down, get us to half-time.
Yeah.
45 minutes.
It's more like 47 or something, I think, really. It was well into time added on because it was 3 minutes added on.
Penalty for Macclesfield.
Yeah, I think it's hard to see, and obviously there's no replays on that iFollow thing, but I think it was Moxie who gave apologies if it wasn't, but I think it was Moxie who gave away the penalty. I couldn't see what happened. Who knows?
So anyway, not calm from our senior players, if that's right. Okay, and so Macclesfield equalised 2-2.
Yeah, Hammond goes the right way on the pen, to be fair. But it's right in the corner.
They trudge into what Macclesfield Town call a stadium. I mean, last week we called St James Park 4 sheds and a field. If we're calling St James Park that, then Macclesfield is really, a gazebo and someone's backyard? I mean, ropey.
Yeah. I mean, it's got a certain charm, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's just because all those terraces are empty.
Yeah.
If they were full and it's like, it would look great, wouldn't it? But obviously we're not taking... Who are their rivals? Like someone like Bury or someone like that.
I guess Bury, they're getting a few, aren't they? But
so maybe it could, if it,
Still looks like a weird cottage. It looks like when someone makes a model railway set at, some Bickley railway centre down in the X-Valley, and they mock up what they think a football ground looks like. That's what that looks like.
It's got loads of weird little bits in it, like, what's this weird, let's just plonk a little house bit on there, and then there's that. It looks a bit like kind of, you're building a Subbuteo. We're really showing our age here. Bickley model railway. Subbuteo. Anyway, it looks like they're building a Subbuteo. I think they haven't got enough bits, and that's what it looks like. Cheers. And that's why we lost. Bad stadium.
It's like reminds me when I'm up Verbier Manor. Going down the death slide.
Diggerland.
So, yeah, I mean, I do blame the ground slightly because,
Yeah, I blame the ground a bit, and then I blame all the Exeter City players.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, I suppose they're a bit more culpable.
Because it's not like Macclesfield are brilliant, and it's not even like they look like they were like, come on, we've got to get ourselves out of the predicament we're in. We're bottom of the league, but if we win this, we'd be out of the relegation zone. It wasn't even like that. It was...
They had some chances and they took them because of our ineptitude.
Yeah.
That's disappointing, isn't it? So half-time comes, Taylor pulls them in, Martin comes off, and he'd been one of the good ones first half.
Yeah, I guess. Who knows? Guess it's an injury.
We're assuming it's injury. I mean, it's not 1 at 2-2, is it? It's not like we're 2-0 up and he thinks, I've got to save him. So presumably he's either agreed just a half, or he's injured, or he's knackered.
Yeah.
All things are possible, I suppose. Martin comes off, out goes Jay. The game, I mean, it's just kind of a nothing. It's kind of rumbling on. We had 2 shots, second half, up until the point that Macclesfield score again.
Yeah, we didn't do much.
Jake
Taylor had a couple of sort of blocked shots from the edge of the box, maybe.
And then we go down 3-2 from just kind of more bad defending. And And then we kind of throw the kitchen sink at it because the ref had 6 minutes on, but it's too late. And there's even a chance for Troy Brown, 7 yards out, but he's on his left foot. He doesn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
By which point the game's over.
Mm-hmm.
Sol Campbell comes out on the pitch, and I want to pick him up on this. He's done a marvellous job at Macclesfield Town, but he's wearing a very light-coloured pair of chinos, which he has not thought through on a soggy April evening.
No, what if he was planning on doing some sort of knee slides in celebration?
Yeah, I mean, his mum's going to be livid when she's got to get those stains out. So, anyway, that's that. City take 1 point from the last 3 games. That, like we said already, that's not promotion-winning form. That's not the kind of form you want going into the playoffs. That's barely going to keep you up.
I mean, how are we... It says something about the league, doesn't it, in the state of the league, that we're still even in the playoff places.
We've done our utmost.
How?
We've done our best. And I want to flag up, first of all, we would have said that finishing just outside the playoffs at the beginning of the season would be a good result. But we showed an awful lot of promise at various points. It was only a month ago that we walloped Chesterfield in one of the best games I've seen at City in a really long time. That was when the injury still hadn't come back.
Yeah.
So I feel it's confidence. I mean, because our defence knew exactly what they were doing up until that point.
Well, that's the surprising thing, isn't it? I mean,
well, we all know
the goals thing it's very easy to see, isn't it? You have a striker who's scoring a ton of goals, and then he leaves, and then you struggle to score goals.
Yeah.
So that's obvious, but yeah, the defence just looked so good for so long, and we hardly conceded for the first part of like 2019. I think we hardly conceded any goals, and then all of a sudden they're just like, maybe it's like, the Mansfield game where we really did deserve to lose, and we were like completely battered by a better team.
Maybe.
And then they just lost confidence from then.
I mean, there must be in the back of their minds, because weirdly, because of this run of fixtures, we've just been playing our playoff rivals week in, week out.
Yeah.
And so there must be in their mind, particularly playing someone like Mansfield and getting thumped by them, we're going to have to play these again, or someone like them, because we've lost to Tranmere, we've lost to Bury, we've lost to Mansfield.
It doesn't make any difference who are playing now, does it?
No, but I wonder if they've got in their mind.
We've lost to teams from all over the league.
Well done. Very egalitarian of us.
Yeah.
But I wonder if you're right. If the Mansfield thumping put the doubt in our mind, and of course added to that doubt is not just we got to get over the line to win promotion, it's we've got to get over the line to have a chance to play the teams that have thumped us again.
Yeah. And the last 2 games, it has been a lot about mistakes and sloppy play. That's been the 2 things I would say were consistent from the last few games.
Cheltenham's a stitch-up, isn't it? Cheltenham is a stitch-up because that was a lovely goal, and the goal that they scored was unfair.
Yeah.
But you're right to
We've
say
got
that.
some confidence players in there, I suppose, and and that's why they're...
And we've also got Pym, normally, who isn't a confidence player. He's just basically always the same.
No, but he is... he isn't. You're right. He doesn't suffer from a loss of confidence. He's always confident in himself, which is like a huge plus. And why would James Hammond have that same kind of confidence? And why would the defence in front of him have that confidence in him? But someone like Dean Moxey totally does seem like a confidence player, because he does have these patches of going through like being brilliant, largely really good, and then he'll have patches of games where he makes a lot of mistakes. They were happening a lot at the beginning of the season as well.
Yeah.
And then he obviously became one of our best players this season later on. And then it seems to be maybe happening again. I mean, from the positives from tonight, and there's a couple, I suppose. We're still up there. Bowman got off the mark. Troy Brown was really good, I thought.
The Bowman thing could be huge because we've needed some in.
But now,
They want enough.
You solve one problem. Oh, finally, Bowman scored, and we scored 2 goals in a game. Oh, well, we've conceded 3. And whereas before, I don't know. What can you?
I'm holding my head in my hands in a depressed way, listeners. Well, that was the results from the weekend. Now we push forward to Port Vale.
Went for it, seen him off his line, dropped in. Happy as Larry. 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 Happy as Larry.
Next up for Exeter City, home on Saturday against Port Vale. Robbie Williams' team, of course.
Yep.
That's about all I know about them. Manny
hoping for
Aliki's playing for them now and doing pretty well by all accounts.
Good for him.
Ooh.
Not that well because they're 18th.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
But yeah, great.
They got financial troubles, of course.
Never mind Robbie Williams. Could it be a big day for Randy Williams?
Didn't feature.
Probably not. No, yeah, maybe not.
Well, we need a...
What is the answer?
I don't know. I mean,
If you were Matt Taylor,
if I was Matt Taylor, I would... Yeah, I mean, Martin, impressed.
I know. I mean, I want to know what happened to him. I want to know why he came off in that half, and I really hope it
Because half-time
isn't.
is quite a thing, isn't it?
I really hope it isn't because you don't make, like you said, it wouldn't be. I'd be very surprised if it's for tactical reasons. It almost certainly isn't.
Not to be replaced by Jay.
No. So I'd be ashamed if that means something's come up again or he's injured again, because I thought we'd look better with him in there, and just nice to have him as an option. And
Here's the thing we haven't seen. Goodness knows if this is any good or not. We haven't seen Williams and Donovan Wilson and Bowman together since a long time ago when they were all new.
no,
I wonder if bedded in a bit. I thought Williams was good when he came on as a sub against Mansfield. I thought it was one of the good things, one of the few positives about that game.
I think he's a certain type of player, isn't he? And if the opposition are playing a certain way, or if they're a certain type of team, then he could be useful. If they're leaving some space in behind, we can use it. He can use his pace. If they're big lumps who are going to sit back there, then I don't know if he's going to be the right option.
That's true.
But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, we're in this stage now where you and I were saying about this run of death, and we got through it, and we were all like, "This is great," and then we've hit the kind of run of beige where all these teams where it shouldn't matter.
Like Sol Campbell's trousers.
Yeah, exactly like that. You should never run in those beige trousers, so it would go everywhere, the mud. But we've hit this run where lots of teams, Macclesfield accepted, and obviously Mansfield kind of accepted as well, but I feel like we're in this place now of these teams have got nothing to play for.
No.
As in terms of clubs, they're not getting promoted, they're not getting relegated, but maybe it's something about the freedom of A, the player needs a new contract, B, nothing really matters at the moment, and we're a bag of nerves, and we're a bit bereft of ideas.
Yeah.
Or we're certainly bereft
Definitely
of...
a bit frustrated, firstly with the lack of goals, now probably with the kind of...
shonkiness.
Yeah, and all the goals we're letting in, and these kind of... that... I mean, it's one big refereeing decision going against us, really, but such a big one, in terms of what it seems like it. I mean, who knows what would happen against Macclesfield if Pim had played, but probably not that.
Is Pim back on Saturday?
Yeah, it's only one game, isn't it, for
2 yellows.
2 yellows, yeah.
And you can't... That's the frustration. We were talking earlier, weren't we, about the frustration of not being able to appeal, because that should not have stood. And so...
Oh, I don't think so, no, and yeah.
And there's nothing you can do. But anyway, that's by the by, that's done. It's water under the bridge. But at the moment, we are absolutely... we're like those marathon runners that are absolutely done in, and they've got to get the final 100 yards. And you think maybe it would be better if you didn't make it. Maybe it'd be better if the St John's ambulance came out now. And yet we look like we're still going to make it.
Yeah, then Barry McConnell would turn up and resuscitate us, and we'd just push over the line.
Well, I'd love to see that. I mean, all I can think is, let's say we still make playoffs, because if we're honest, Colchester, Carlisle, and Swindon, who are our rivals for that last place, they're just as crud as we are.
Well, also
currently.
we've got 2 home games,
Yeah.
both of which we should win.
should win.
We should,
listeners.
and we should win them, regardless of the. I mean, in the context of who we are, Exeter City of 2019,
Yeah.
not the year before. So because there's two different teams, really, isn't it? You look at it. We're a team with a goal scorer,
Yeah.
and then we're now a team without a goal scorer,
Yeah.
and a few other people.
But you're
who've come
saying-
in since then too, and our form since then is not that of.
No, it's not a promotion.
No.
But you're saying that despite being the current arrangement, we should still win some of those games.
Well, we definitely should. I mean,
Macclesfield, obviously,
that's different.
that's
because,
different because they needed that, and they've now pushed themselves out of relegation.
Yeah, and they're on good form anyway. They were in good form, and they've now got themselves out of the relegation zone, and maybe have saved their season and saved themselves from going down. But we got Port Vale, nothing to play for, and we're at home, we should win. Then we've got Crawley on
Good Friday,
at home. They've got nothing to play for. We should win again. That's
Then we go to Tisdale's D-Day, the location of Tisdale's D-Day, where there's now a blue plaque up commemorating the three lads that were going to knock his block off in the car park.
remember that.
Stevenage away, again, nothing to play for. As we showed last season, does not make a jot of difference, but we should get something.
Yeah,
And then it's Oldham at home,
yeah. So
and then it's Forest Green away.
of course, it probably won't be tied up. The way it's going, actually, it probably will go down to that last day, won't it?
All I can think in my head is
Unless
Coventry.
we batter everyone. If we win every game, if we win all the next 4 games, then I think the Forest Green one won't matter. Or if we lose all the next 4 games, I think the Forest Green one won't matter.
Yeah.
But in reality, I think probably they're all going to count, and it's going to come down to that last day.
Could do. So all I can think is, in comfort, last season we went to Wembley, and the season before, with an absolutely emphatic, direction of travel, which meant that we walloped those both those really good teams in different ways. Currently, we are like, here goes another metaphor. We're like the soldier in Saving Private Ryan who's trying to blow up the bridge at the end, and he just keeps getting bullets in him and keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. But then he manages it anyway. Or he doesn't, actually. The analogy doesn't work. But
Well, maybe it will work. Maybe it'll be the exact right analogy come the end of the season.
But we might get there and suddenly find something else. Because last season we got there with what we thought we needed, and it was hopeless.
Well, and if you're going along that kind of train of thought, then the season before even more so.
Yeah.
Because, we didn't cruise the semis as well as we did last season.
The run from Christmas.
The Blackpool game, and the run for Christmas, and the Blackpool game, up to the Blackpool final, where we were like, that was a really solid team, and we really didn't show up. I mean, we didn't show up for either of the finals, but
So that's all I can kind of cling to. And then in the back of my
so what
mind,
we're hoping for is the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Crap all the way, and then just make it, and then we're brilliant somehow in the final, or
Doesn't make any less sense than what happened the last 2 seasons, to be honest.
no. Well,
And
no.
so-
League Two doesn't make any sense, does it?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. And, you can't wish for these things, but what a different thing it would have been if we'd either got ourselves to top of the league when Stockley went, or Stockley hadn't gone. You just think that what we've had, it's been a tale of two seasons, hasn't it?
Well,
Or tale of two halves.
yeah. A tale of two halves.
Of a season.
The old saying goes.
Yeah.
Well, it has.
I certainly had great expectations.
Oh.
But then there's going to be a twist in the tale, maybe?
Love it.
Any more?
No.
No, although currently it feels like we're living in a bleak house.
It does indeed. I don't know any books.
Those are all Charles Dickens books, listeners. That's...
Yeah. That's a sort of highbrow pun you're getting on the Big Bang Theory. Where were we?
Well, I think all I'm saying is I can take some heart from the fact that it's just so unpredictable.
Yeah, that's what I mean by the fact that we might well win our next 5 games.
Yeah.
You never know. Like, you find yourself I'm definitely guilty of this, of thinking like as soon as we win a couple games, you're like, we're amazing, we're gonna definitely gonna do it, everything's great. Matt Taylor's like the greatest manager of all time, and
Tactical
then we
genius, I think the song tells
tactical
us.
genius, and then we lose a couple, and suddenly it's like, oh god, we're so rubbish, we're never gonna make it to the play. But so who knows?
Well,
I don't think it's like you said, it's such a kind of. I mean, there certainly are patterns, but for a while we were that team that were breaking everyone's good runs, weren't we? We were breaking up all these good runs, so maybe we can get out of this kind of minor little blip, and maybe it's good to get these out. And as we are still in it, and I guess this is what Matt Taylor will be saying to them is, we're still in this. We've got 5 games left.
Yeah.
A couple home games that we should win. We're better than all these teams coming up, with the exception perhaps of Forest Green this season. At least this second half of the season been really good.
Well, of course, they've had the exact opposite thing of what we've had.
Yeah, and also
Storage coming back.
Well, they've got that thing which all the teams around us seem to have, which is like a talismanic kind of like striker, someone who's going to always get goals. They've got Norwood at Tranmere and Doige at Forest Green, and those
TJ Hamilton and Tyler Walker at
and
Mansfield.
Yeah, and we did have that, and it's not a huge surprise that we happened to miss him when he's gone.
Indeed so.
But anyway, Bowman's off the mark now, isn't he? So come on.
Well, I mean that's huge.
Yeah.
That is huge. Like if somehow we'd won that game tonight, and I know that's a big if because obviously we completely spaffed it.
Yeah.
But if the spin was different on it currently, if Bowman had come out of that with 2 goals and we'd won, or it had gone the other way round, and we were behind and then Bowman got 2 and we managed to be the winners, or even draw it, we'd be saying this could be the turning point. Now, Hammond-Moxie mix-up and a penalty, that in a sense that's redeemable because Pym comes back and things are different. And by all accounts, it was a miserable night in Macclesfield, and the pitch was bad.
No way.
And all that kind of stuff. The tropical paradise of Macclesfield was not its normal sunny self. And so, actually, if we're going to take a positive from it, it is those Bowman goals, and that Martin is hopefully still around next week. I'd like to see him on the bench and coming on, if at all possible.
I thought Archie Collins gave a good account of himself as well.
He's been great, and I was pleased to see him back. We'll see, listeners.
We shall see.
It's the countdown, isn't it? I mean, I'm still looking forward to my burrito at Reading Services, and by God, I shall have it, one way or another.
Oh, wow. Yeah. The thought of it still just... But, it was this time last year we were like... I was dreading Wembley because we still had hopes of automatics.
Yeah.
And now it's like, can we even get to the...
Can we even
finish in the playoff places? I mean, let alone having to, play a 2-legged semi-final against one of those teams. I mean, I'm not looking forward to that, even if we get there.
So...
I mean, I am, because I want us, to be... I want us to do well, and I don't subscribe to this thing of, like, Taylor's first season, maybe it's better if we don't go up and we can kind of, have another go, like, when he's got bit more time and like a more settled squad next season. Nah, I mean, not if we've got the choice of going up this season. If we can go this season, I'd love to.
Yeah. We've had enough time of being acclimatised to League Two. It's time to get acclimatised to League One.
Yeah.
And
I mean, acclimatised just for one man.
So it currently looks like we'll be playing, if we make it, Bury or Mansfield or Tranmere in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And obviously if we get to the final 2 of those teams, we've lost to all 3 very recently. They all look strong.
Yep.
But
you never know.
You never know. And we have got the experience, like it or not, we've got the experience of getting beaten twice before, which might do something for us.
Yeah, and there's players in there who have got through and won in semi-finals in the last 2 years.
Yeah, that's true.
So...
Yeah. Okay, well...
Including pretty much all of the defence, actually, and the goalkeeper.
True enough.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Friends, thanks for listening to our morose meanderings, courtesy of Macclesfield's Misery. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Yep, thanks for tuning in again.
Next time we'll be jolly because it'll surely be an absolute battering of Port Vale at home. Get in touch with us, as always, on email, bigbankpod@gmail.com, and via Twitter and Facebook. Tell your friends, leave us a review.
Yeah, don't bother with that. How far away business are you? Because we've done all that already. Someone's already done it from Australia.
How close are you? I'd like to know how close you live to St James Park. Can you see the pitch from your window?
Oh, that's a good point. I've lived extremely close to St James's Park on more than one occasion.
You lived in the shadow of the old grandstand, but you couldn't see a thing.
No, you can't see anything. There's only about 2 houses in the whole, even in the area, you can actually see anything from those ones on St James's Road, aren't they?
Are the new flats going up behind the big bank going to have a view of the pitch?
I don't know. I don't imagine that it's high enough. I don't think it's high enough.
Quite high to go over the largest standing terrace in Europe. TM.
I tell you,
maybe England. I don't know.
What I can't imagine is right round the back there on the big bank. If you want to go out for a fag at half time, you're stood right outside what I can assume will be a student's bedroom, and or 8. So I don't know. I think it might be. I wouldn't be at all surprised if they ban that next season. So we'll have to
Where would you go for your cigarettes?
Everyone will just do it in the toilet, like they do at away games.
Interesting. Something to look forward to, listeners.
Oh,
Thanks for tuning in. My name's John.
Cheers.
This has been Dan. We'll see you soon.